Welcome to the Realty Rundown, the podcast that cuts through the noise of the real estate world. Your hosts, seasoned industry experts Nick and Nate, are here to guide you through the entire process. Each week, they're breaking down the latest market trends, decoding complex jargon, and sharing insider secrets you won't find anywhere else. Whether you're buying your first home, selling a property, or building an investment portfolio, we provide the clear, actionable advice you need to make your next move your best move.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Realty Rundown. This is episode 37 today. Today we're tackling a story that's raising eyebrows in real estate. You might not have heard about it, but you're about to. So we're talking about the fact that right now in some areas, new homes are selling for less than existing homes. We're not seeing that in our market, but it is happening, and it's something that hasn't happened in decades.
Yeah, to me, this sounds absolutely crazy. What's behind that inversion?
Yeah, inversion is the right word for it too. But basically, here's what we're seeing. So in June 2025, the median price of a new home is about $407,200, which is oddly $28,000 less than existing homes, which is a full 6.5% discount to buy a brand new home.
It's crazy.
And in July, the number was a little less stark, but it remained a 4% discount. So it's not really like a pricing strategy that new home builders are doing. They're not trying to sell for less. It's a sign that they're under some real pressure. We're going to look at Lennar and what's happening with the Lennar, who's a huge national home builder. They're offering incentives, and that's really what this is coming from, is incentives that are being offered. But Lennar right now is offering incentives that amount to over 13% off the sales price. So this is like major mortgage buy downs, rate buy downs, upgrades that they're willing to do for free, essentially, and then closing cost assistance, seller's assistance, as we would call it traditionally. These are deep discounts. And again, we haven't seen these since 2009. Not saying we're in a 2009 market, because if you were around at that time, you remember how much fun that wasn't. But really, it comes from a complication where new home sales are down. So we're looking at a down year over year. We're comparing the July 2025 to July 2024, and we're looking at about 8.2% down year over year. In the meantime, sales are down. Inventory is rising. Inventory is up to almost 500,000 homes. So we've got about 9.2 months of supply. Nate, that's what I was talking about is months of supply. For our existing homes, much, much, much lower. We're still, I think, just under 2 months of supply of existing homes. So what we're dealing with here with the new housing is a lot of unsold housing.
Yeah, for sure. So what does this mean for buyers, sellers, investors? Tell us more.
Yeah, for buyers, it could be the most buyer-friendly environment we've seen in years. Inventory, incentives, and discounts that haven't existed again in 20 years. For sellers, particularly of an existing home, you're suddenly competing with those new built homes, which have those upgrades, and they're offering further upgrades. They've got other financial perks that they're willing to do. They're willing to pay for your closing costs, your seller's assistance, so to speak. So those are things that our existing home sellers need to be aware of now. And hey, you've fixed up your home a little bit maybe over the last 30 years that you've lived there. But if you haven't, you're going up against an almost dollar for dollar scenario of a brand new home. So again, we're seeing this nationally. It hasn't totally come here to North Central Indiana yet, but it's trickling. And then from a builder's perspective, from an investor's perspective, it's a real crisis. They're basically having to shift their strategy. They're risking growing, the risk of growing an overhang that's even further than it is right now with this inventory that just hangs out on the market. And then for the broader economy, for all of us, whether you're a homeowner, a renter, whatever you are, sliding home sales and price struggles, it can weigh on consumer confidence, and it can weigh on spending. It even affects those, builder stock valuations. And they're huge. These are huge market cap companies. So there's some extra things that can come into play here. Just looking at the history of this, to get things in a little better context, existing home sales were at their lowest annual total since 1995. So that's 30 years. And those are our numbers from full year 2024 compared to 1995. We had about 4.06 million units sold with the median price around that 407,000, as we mentioned before. So it's not just a regional blip that we're looking at. It's structural, it's sector-wide signals that are going out. And if this continues, we might see home prices decline broadly. Something we haven't seen, Nate. I mean, you've been doing this for years now. I've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
We really haven't seen that. And when home prices decline, that can send ripples through local economies and financial markets.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of feels like I'm window shopping at a car dealership. It's the whole thing of like, buy it today and we're going to give you free warranty upgrades and all the good stuff. Like, buy it, do it now. That's kind of what it feels like.
Yeah, it is like car shopping, kind of like or like you're bundling a flat screen TV when you get your house. Like, here you go. Like, what can we give you? Please buy this.
Please just do it, whatever it takes.
Yeah, it really is. That's what they're doing, just to get people to look at the inventory they've got. And honestly, as long as it helps the Main Street buyers, I'm not complaining.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yep.
And a quick recap here. So new homes are now cheaper than existing ones in some markets, rare in modern memory, like we just went over. Builders are offering incentives unmatched since 2009. Sales volumes are falling, inventory is ballooning, and existing sales are still at a multi-decade low. The question is, will prices fall enough to restore affordability, or could this spiral affect the broader economy?
Yeah, and that is the question. We don't have the answer at this point, guys. We don't know for sure what's going to happen, but it's something we have to keep our eye on.
Yep.
That's a perfect recap, Nate. Honestly, you really took that all in there, and that's what we're going to be watching. We're going to try and keep relaying this information as this unfolds. Hopefully the rate cuts that we did see this last week will help a little bit, because that's been one of the struggles. Same thing if you're buying, a car right now or an RV or something like that, you're going to be paying higher rates. New homes are no different. They're typically a little bit higher rates on that. So hopefully this easing that the Fed is doing, as dovish as it is, hopefully that helps the home builders a little bit, because when they win, we all win. We need homes. We need them to be affordable, but we don't need these home builders to start losing money and not building homes.
Yep.
So it's like, I feel like every other week we have like this different challenge that's facing the housing market right now. I don't think we're in anything close to panic mode yet, but I think the home builders are starting to worry. And Nate, you'll get to see a graphic of a very concerned home builder when you get to tune in on Monday.
I can't wait for that.
You will enjoy. I don't know how he's got his helmet on, because he's pulling his hair out through his helmet. It's pretty tragic.
Leave it to AI.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, nice short episode for you this week. We're going to try and continue to do that. Try not to talk too much. Just get you the facts as you need them. We do appreciate you tuning in. And if you are currently navigating any kind of a builder crisis, whether you're the buyer, the seller, or the investor itself, don't be afraid to reach out. We're here to help. We do these podcasts to give you guys information, and we're always here to answer any further questions you've got. We'll help you read between the lines, so to speak. All right, Nathan, let's wave to the beautiful people. Until next time,
thanks,
get
guys.
your wise replies. Remember, Nick knows, guys. We'll see you next time.
See you guys.
And that's a wrap on another episode. Thanks for tuning in. We hope you had as much fun as we did. We love sharing real estate insights, but as you can see, we also love to have a good time. This energy and passion is what we bring to every client. Buying or selling a home is a huge deal, but it doesn't have to be stressful. With the right team, it can even be fun. Ready to make your move? Let's connect.